Are you a football fan? Have you ever found yourself wondering, what in the world was that ref thinking? Well, Mike D, the referee, is here to help you. Join me on Whistle Talk as I talk to professionals on the field and in the booth to help you understand what is going on inside the mind of a football official. Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome once again to another episode of Whistle Talk. I am Mike D, the referee, once again being joined by my buddy from the Oklahoma area, Mr. Daniel Chamberlin. Daniel, what's happening, buddy?
You know, I was just thinking, I didn't talk any OU sports, which was so sad on the last time we were on. I'm even wearing the shirt.
I see that. And I also see behind you the Oklahoma City Thunder placard on the ground down there.
Yeah, that's we do this thing, and it's a Joe Daniel special where we just talk about throwing a grenade in a room after so long. Like, it's just, and there's my kids yelling through the door.
It's all right.
And so I threw a grenade in my closet, and I had to just do a remodel. And I found that. And I bought that when KD and Russ and Harden and all the guys were on the Thunder. It's like a special edition or like limited edition, 350 of them made. And I was like, I better get that on the podcast. So
there you go. Well,
I haven't obviously found a real place for it. It's just blocking the bottom shelf. I've got to replace something up here. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'll just blow up my entire room in here next and then change everything.
Well, as of recording tonight, OKC is still in the Western Conference Finals. They are leading the Western Conference Finals right now.
That's right.
So by the time this podcast may get published, you may see a New York Knicks OKC World Championship, or at least that's kind of what I'm hoping for, because I want to go through the belly of the beast if I have an opportunity as a Knicks fan. Because we already knocked down one, I'd love to knock down the number one team in the NBA.
I know that it's one of those years as a Thunder fan, like we better do it this year because like all the big names are gone. Lakers are out, and the Warriors and the Celtics and Antetokounmpo or whatever his name is up there with the Bucks is gone. Like all the teams that you always kind of fear, like you have that not fear but respect. Like getting in a battle with those guys is going to be tough, but they're all gone this year, so it's no better year than now. But
no, it definitely feels like it is. The ball is up in the air. It's a basketball term. So Daniel, once again, is joining us here tonight for our rules series. And tonight we get to dive into rule number 5, which again, like our last rule, I want to say is like another 3 pages in our rule manual, our NFHS rule book. So it's not a hugely mental challenge for us as officials. A lot of the stuff in it is some common sense, but I say this a lot of times in my school, common sense is not so common, so we do have to refresh. But before we dive into our episode tonight, I failed to do it last time, and I have to pay a little bit of an homage as I crack open my beer here, and I'm going to pour myself a beer into my Whistle Talk pint glass here. So my high school nickname growing up was Norm. Norm from Cheers, Mr. Norm Peterson. So Mr. Peterson, Mr. George Wendt recently passed away. And I got to say, one last time, Norm! Just an homage to Mr. Peterson. So as Daniel and I crack open a beer here, cheers out there in the Midwest, sir.
And, yes, cheers.
With that, once again, ladies and gentlemen, hit those like, subscribe buttons, all those funky things here. And go back. I just found all the Cheers episodes are on Hulu. Go back and watch those things. They're hilarious shows.
I listened to Norm's, all of his one-liners. Hey, Norm, you want a beer? Yeah, I do need to pass some time until my second one. So, no better way than my first. Like,
oh, yeah.
His one-liners were legit, man.
My high school yearbook is a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk-bone underwear. So that's my senior quote, and serves you where mine was back in the day. So with that being said, cheers, Mr. Wendt.
Cheers.
And now let's dive into the real reason that people may be out there listening to us yammer back and forth here. Football. Rule number 5 of the NFHS Rule Book, talking about the series of downs, the number of downs, and the team in possession after a penalty. We are going to talk about line to gain and measurements and different things like that. But once again, this one is not really a big mental one here, but one that us officials, we definitely need to refresh ourselves on, because there's always one or two little caveat that we're like, and you coaches out there, you still want to know everything that's going on. So, Daniel, trick question for you. How many downs do you have in order to get another first down?
As many as the rest will give you.
What does the rule book say?
I assume 4 downs.
Yeah, that's all that down indicator goes to is 4. So that's all we can do. That's all we can award.
You said trick question, but it really wasn't at all.
No, it wasn't. That was the trick.
If you'd have just asked me, I would have said 4. But then, But I mean, we've seen some NFL refs give 5, so.
I've seen some high school refs do 5 also, and sometimes 3. So you want to make sure you get those 4. So, Rule 5, 5-1, a series of down. Following a free kick, touchback, or fair catch, the team next in possession gets a series of 4 downs to advance the ball to what we refer to as the line to gain, what the TV people say is the first down marker. And the first down has that nice yellow line going across the field, which we don't have in the high school game. So that would be the line to gain. Yeah. But technology, we don't have enough scoreboards that work. So let alone getting that laser going across the field.
I said the chains should be, at this point, talking to each other, right? Like a box on each side, line to gain, little yellow line. Let's go. Come on. Somebody make it happen. Elon Musk can do it, I'm sure.
You're probably right, but have you seen the price of Teslas these days?
True.
So here we go. Each awarded first down starts a new series, and the referee shall correct any error in the number of down before the ball becomes live, after a new series is awarded, or before the period has ended. So if we realize that we screwed up and we've got the wrong number on the box, we can correct it. A lot of times the number on the box, those chain gang people might not be certified referees here in New Jersey. For the most part, it's not mandatory that our chain crew are certified officials. Some schools, for financial reasons, will have their own people do it, but they typically have experience doing it. But sometimes they're just kind of in a fog. So we are always signaling to each other, reminding each other. We have wristlets, we have finger notches. So you're always seeing the referees fiddle around with that little lanyard around their fingers. That's to know what down it is so that we can remember, especially after you have a penalty or something like that. We want to make sure that we have the right thing. So you watch a game, you watch an NFL game, watch the referee, and you'll see them put their big number 1, and we got a first down on that play. And you'll see them already fiddling with that lanyard that's around their finger to make sure that it's on the firsts. And most people are like, what the heck are they doing? Well, that's the reason. And me as an umpire, I wear 2, because I'm also using it for the lateral spot of the ball to make sure that we get that long, incomplete pass. I know where I'm going back with it. So if you threw it from the right hash, you're getting it back on the right hash, not in the middle of the field. All right, Daniel, slide number 2.
Yep. Series of down, Rule 5-1. New series awarded when line to gain is reached, only after considering effects of any act during the down. So yardage gained, fouls, etc. Non-player and unsportsmanlike fouls are excluded.
We're going to talk about this with the dead ball fouls.
Good. Fouls enforced from seceding spot do not change whether a new series is awarded unless the penalty moves A beyond the line of gain prior to 4th down. So those both sound a little confusing, like penalties don't get you first downs, but what are they talking about, Mike?
So first one, you kind of hit it on your last statement. Do you know what penalties get you an automatic first down?
Yeah. It's all the R's: roughing the kicker, roughing the passer, roughing the holder.
The holder is actually considered the kicker, but who's the other person that's afforded protection on kicks?
Punter, but that's a kicker.
No, kicker.
I don't know.
Long snapper.
Roughing the snapper. Okay.
Yep. So all those ones are automatic first downs. So your defensive pass interference, you getting an automatic first down?
You're not.
You're not. You're getting 15 yards or you're getting half the distance to the goal line, which I know in the NCAA that is also different because sometimes you're getting 15 yards from the 20. So you may be getting the next snap on the 5 yard line, where in high school, you may be getting it on the 10 yard line. So that 15 yards can also, well, you're thinking 15 yards is typically going to get you a first down, but if it's a 7 yard penalty and it happened on 1st and 10 from the 20, well, no, 1st and 10 from the 15, and you get 7 yards, you're now going to have 1st and 3
When
from.
does the when does the half the distance start in high school? Is it after the 30-yard line, or is it just if the penalty would take you into the end zone?
It's kind of one and the same what you're saying. So the half the distance, if it's a 15 yard penalty, it'll start from inside the 30. If it's a 10 yard penalty, it would start it from inside the 10. So we never. So it's basically going to be what the yardage plays out to be. So, and now when you start talking about double fouls and things like that, where you may have two fouls on the defense, um, one could be a full foul and the other one can be a half the distance type of foul. So typically that's going to be a live ball, dead ball type of situation. So you'll get the full yardage for one. And now that full yardage takes you inside the 20 yard line. Now you're only going to get half the yardage for the next one. That makes sense. All right. So we got a couple of case book scenarios here. So we got the questions and the answers here. So this is one that I like to do with the Jeopardy game that I've done and when I have the coaches on. But these are some of the questions. So we have case books that ask us the questions and we have tests and stuff like that. So on this one, we got A 3rd and 10 from B's 40 yard line. A1 gains 10 yards and is downed at B's 30 yard line. A2 taunts B1 after the run. So the ruling is it's going to be A 1st and 10 from B's 45 yard line because the live ball action gave them the first down. They got the line to gain, the LTG. So they gained their 10 yards. And then the taunting penalty gets an unsportsmanlike penalty. So we don't really have it taunting. We have our arm straight out for an unsportsmanlike penalty. That's going to then be 15 yards from after that first down. So you're still going to have 1st and 10. You're not going to have 1st and 25, which a lot of coaches are going to look for. You're going to have 1st and 10, but it's going to be 15 yards back from where that line to gain was. So it's important to remember that a new series is awarded. Depends on the live ball action. So that would be the first down. They gained the 10 yards. The line to gain is not set until after any penalties, and that's before the ready for the next ready for play are enforced. 1st and 25 is a very rare occurrence when starting a new series, unless you blow the ready for play in, and now right before the ball is snapped, that linebacker turns around and starts cussing out, or the offense or the quarterback starts cussing out the referee after the ready for play. Well, now you could have a 1st and 25. But again, very rare. If it happens right after the whistle, it's going to be 1st and 10 still. So Daniel, I'll let you take this next case play.
Yep. A 1st and 10 at their own 42. A's pass is complete and the receiver is downed at B's 48. After the play, A 53 trash talks an opponent. A dead ball, unsportsmanlike is called. So they're at the 42. They got the first down because they got 10 yards from the 42 to the 48. So it would be, I'm not looking down yet. I'm trying to think this through. So I have it as a 1st and 10 minus the 15 yards. So now you're coming back to the 35 plus 2, so 37. So we're going to be A 37 1st and 10. Look at that. A10, 1st and 10 at 37. Clock ready for play with a 25-second play clock.
And you nailed everything right there. And it says 25 second ready for play. So we're going to blow it in and we're going 25 seconds after that. It's not a 40-second clock because we had an administrative stoppage to administrate the penalty. So we're going to go 25 seconds after that. So you nailed it. And now the last one that we have is A 4th and 2 from B's 25. A1 is tackled at the B 26, which is now short of the line to gain. B2 now piles on after the play. The ruling is now it's going to be B 1st and 10 from the B 13. The referee shall signal a change of possession by signaling first down for B, and then the penalty for B will be administered because in this scenario, the play was over. So in Rule 4, we talked about the play kills itself. So the play was over, And then you had the late hit, in essence. That late hit happened after fourth down ended. So it's a change of possession, but now they're going to get the 15 yards tacked on at that point in time. So it'll still be 1st and 10, but it might be 15 yards back further than where they really got the stop from.
Absolutely.
And that's what the bottom part reads. So the comment on fourth down plays, A must get the first down by virtue of gaining the yardage, okay, not including the penalty. So you can't tack on the penalty because a lot of coaches are going to think that late hit penalty is going to get them the first down, and it doesn't work that way. All right, this one's another layup for you here, going more
Sure.
basketball references.
New series is awarded Rule 513. After a scrimmage down, a new series is awarded to Team A if the ball belongs to A beyond the line to gain, the gain of first down.
First
Team
down.
B if the ball belongs to B at the end of any down, so if they cause a turnover or a turnover on downs. Team B if the ball belongs to A behind the line of gain after the fourth down, so if they cause a turnover on downs. The team in possession if there is a change of team possession during the down, unless a penalty occurs before change of possession and accepted. So what we're talking about here is team A fumbles, B recovers, team B fumbles, anybody recovers. It's a new series because there was a change of possession during the play, right?
Yes, sir.
Unless a penalty
Yep.
occurred before team A originally lost possession, and then we've got to go back to that.
And we're going to talk about in a later chapter about what we call dirty hands, is getting the ball with dirty hands. So if there's multiple fouls, if there's a foul on the offense and a foul on the defense on a play, it depends. And the defense intercepts the ball. Well, when did that defensive penalty occur? Did they have clean hands? Did they intercept it and then they had a block in the back? In that scenario, they're probably going to decline. Say the offense got called for holding, defense intercepted the ball, then you had a block in the back. They're probably going to decline the holding penalty, take the ball, and then go back 10 yards for the block in the back. Where if they accepted that holding penalty, you now got a penalty on A and B, which now offsets. So the interception never occurred in that scenario. So we're going to talk about what we refer to again as the clean hands. They got it before the penalty, so they got it with clean hands.
I like that.
So a new series is awarded after a scrimmage kick. A new series is awarded to Team R if K legally kicks and the ball is recovered by R. Joint possession, the kick goes out of bounds, or the kick becomes dead with no player in possession. Again, your kickoff, that doesn't happen very often where nobody gains possession of it, but I've seen it more so on your punt plays. So things like that where just nobody downs the ball, nobody picks up the ball, we're going to kill the ball. And again, we talked about that in Rule 4 about the ball just lying there. A new series will be awarded for the team in possession if R is the first to touch a scrimmage kick beyond the expanded neutral zone, unless a foul occurs before the kick ends and the penalty is accepted, or any of the above, going back to balls recovered by R, blah, 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 like we just talked about. So it says any of the above. So the expanded neutral zone in our scrimmage kick scenario is going to be the 10 yards. So on your kickoff, that 10 yards is going to be our expanded neutral zone. And a new series is awarded to Team R at the spot of first touch if K is first to touch the ball beyond the expanded neutral zone before R. And now this is our fun caveat one here. K touches the ball, R can pick the ball up and return it and still get the ball back at the spot of first touch if they fumble it away. That's a fun one.
I feel like the possession stuff can get out of hand pretty quickly, but it has to be the rare occasions that just really gets people mad. You know what I mean? Like,
but yeah, it's pretty much everybody understands this one. It's that last little caveat of just touching the ball and then returning it. And where it doesn't happen is now if there is a penalty on that return after that first touching occurred and now R is returning it, now I got a block in the back and I fumble it, the penalty takes precedence, or the fumble will take precedence. Oh, I screwed up my scroll here. All right.
it's mad at you, isn't it?
It is. All right, here we go. That's what we did. Boom. Bing. All right. Scrimmage kick and series of downs 5-1-4. Unless first touched by R beyond the expanded neutral zone, if K recovers a scrimmage kick in or behind the neutral zone, the ball remains live, belongs to K, and the down counts. Okay. We've talked about that. And we have here important with a bunch of exclamation points. The only time Team K can advance a kick is when the ball is behind their line of scrimmage. So if I'm kicking the ball and I kick the ball up in the air and the ball lands 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage and then rolls backwards into my backfield once again, I, as the kicking team, can pick that ball up and run and try to get the line to gain, try to get that first down. So this is one of those ones where K can advance a kick. And if they're lucky enough, they can advance it all the way for a touchdown. No, not common, but it happens. So on your blocked kicks, your blocked punts, your blocked field goals, K can scoop the ball up and go in for a touchdown. Any questions on that one?
So I know it says if it's in or behind the neutral zone, they can recover it. Does a muffed punt or a muffed kick change this? Can I return a muffed kick, or is it down? Is it a dead ball as soon as either team recovers it, or how does that work?
So the muff, we were going to kill the muff. Muff cannot be returned for that reason. So great question. All right. Again, this one's a little straightforward here, but it breaks it down into Team R now. So I'll let you take this one. So a new series is awarded for Team R, 5-1-5. Take it away.
Absolutely. After a free kick, a new series is awarded to Team R if R touches the ball before it goes out of bounds, and it goes at the inbound spot. Team in possession if ball is recovered beyond R's free kick line or touched by R within the neutral zone with no first touching by K. Whew. So that's saying if it goes, as long as it goes 10 yards, anybody can possess it. Team R has possession. A new series is awarded to Team R if the kick fails to go 10 yards, is recovered by K before touched by R at the spot of recovery. Team R if there is joint possession of a recovered kick. Team R if K is first to touch before it has gone 10 yards at the spot of first touch. So all that is saying,
go ahead.
R's getting the ball if it doesn't go 10 yards. If it does go 10 yards and they have joint possession or possession, then it's theirs. Otherwise, then it's whoever gets on it.
Correct. And R will get it if it goes out of bounds, if it was not touched by R, but they could also then get some added yardage for a kick that goes out of bounds. Is there a penalty for an onside kick that doesn't go 10 yards and the kicking team jumps on it thinking it did go 10 yards?
Be first touch, but I remember it being not a penalty.
Correct.
It's just awarded to the other team at the spot of the foul.
Correct. At the spot of touching, not the spot of the foul.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yep,
I
know what you meant.
At the spot it was touched. I just said it's not a penalty and then called it a foul. So there we go.
Yes, you did. So first touching and a foul by R will occur first touching by K on a scrimmage kick or a free kick. R loses its right to take the ball at the spot of the first touching if R touches the kick and, big bold underlined, and thereafter commits a foul. And that's what we just talked about on that first touching type of caveat where you touch the ball, I pick it up and go, and then I fumble it, I'll go back to first touching, but now we got a foul. Or the penalty is accepted for any foul committed during the down. So just understand that flag, that yellow hanky on the ground, it does modify who's going to get the ball and where. So even on the kick game. All right, down and possession after a penalty.
If penalty is, yeah, I got it. If penalty is declined, the down is same as if foul had not occurred. So basically, it did not occur. If double foul occurs, repeat the down, same down as previous play. Now, the double foul would be one on each side, right?
Correct.
So offsetting, but you have to replay the down. After distance penalty, never heard that word, distance penalty. Ball belongs to team in possession at time of foul, unless PSK foul or KCI. We're going to have to explain that one.
Yep.
Then possession may change if new series is awarded. So let's talk those through.
KCI is your kick catching interference.
Thank you.
And your PSK is a post scrimmage kick, which we talked about and we'll talk more about in Rule 6. Both of those are going to come up in Rule 6, which, if I haven't mentioned, Rule 6 is a fun one.
No one likes Rule 6. That's what
Everybody
I've come to
loves
understand.
Rule 6. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow officials out there, read Rule 2 and Rule 6. Listen to Rule 2, listen to Rule 6 on these episodes as the season approaches, and listen to them again. And tell your friends to listen to them. Listen.
There you go.
All right. A foul during a scrimmage down. Before a change of team possession and before our first touches of a scrimmage kick, the ball belongs to A or K unless there's a post scrimmage kick foul, kick catching interference, or R selects the succeeding spot enforcement, which goes to Rule 10.4.2. When we start talking about rule enforcement, we're going to really dive into that one. That's another fun one. That one, you know a lot more than you think you do when it comes to that one. So I'll give you that. Rule 6, maybe not so much. Foul during a scrimmage down, the number of the next down is the same as the down in which the foul occurred, unless the penalty exception includes a loss of down or an automatic first down, which you just named the automatic first downs as your roughing penalties are illegal forward pass type penalties, illegal handoff, different things like that. Those are going to be your loss of down. So your intentional grounding falls into the illegal forward pass penalty. So the number will be the same unless the distance penalty results in A getting the line to gain. So then you're going to have a first down. And a loss of down penalty has no significance after change of possession or if the line to gain is reached after the enforcement, which we did talk about a little bit in Rule 3. You throw a incomplete pass that happens to be a illegal forward pass, so intentional grounding, and it's fourth down. Other teams getting the ball regardless on if they accept a penalty or not. So the loss of down penalty would not be significant in that scenario, but you can get that extra 5 yards tacked onto where the ball was thrown, so you can get the yardage. All right. 5-2, continuing with it.
Yep. I knocked this one out. If penalty is declined, down is same as if foul had not occurred.
Wait,
we said that one earlier. Yeah, I was like, I'm reading the same thing here.
Doing a hell of a job, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, you said it was continuing. You're not lying. It just replicated. Fouls prior to or simultaneous with snap. Scrimmage down, number of next down after enforcement is same as number established before the foul occurred, which sounds like a fancy way to say we're going to repeat the down.
Yep.
Unless a foul by B results in a first down, which would be for yardage. So what's saying is, like, if you get holding on the offense, you're repeating the down. If you get, I don't know, you get in the neutral zone on defense and you don't get a first down, you repeat the down. Only if you gain the yardage to gain the line to gain, then you would go back to a first down.
Think about it more broad, though, for defense. It's 1st and 20. You get that pass interference penalty. It's now 1st and 5. So that's where it will become a caveat. There's not many 5-yard penalties on the defense. We do still have 5-yard face masks in high school, which I don't see lasting much longer, but it's still in the rule book. But there's not many 5-yard penalties, so the 10-yard varieties are typically going to give the offense a first down on the defense, and the 15-yard penalties are typically going to give them the first down. But if it doesn't get them the yardage, you're not getting a first down, so you'll replay the down. All right, so fouls prior to or during a free kick down, 5-4. And again, for those people who are like, what is a free kick down as opposed to a scrimmage kick down? Listen to the episode on Rule 2 where we go over definitions about scrimmage kicks and free kicks. So your free kick down, kickoff, a down which follows the enforcement shall be another free kick down. So unless R selects the succeeding spot for the enforcement, 10-4-2, or following a fair catch or awarded fair catch, a scrimmage down is chosen. So you kick the ball out of bounds, we're going to go back 5 yards and you're going to re-kick the ball from that spot. Unless R selects the succeeding spot, so the ball gets kicked out of bounds at the 40-yard line, you can take the ball now from the 40-yard line where the ball went out of bounds, or you can also have 5 yards tacked onto that and go from the 45-yard line. So That's what that one's talking about. All right. When does a series of down end?
Gotcha. 5-2-5 acceptance. So a series of downs ends. Acceptance of penalty includes the award of first down. So you end a series of downs when you get the next series to begin. Acceptance or declination leaves A in possession beyond the line of gain. Once again, you've gained the first down as an offense or team A. Declination leaves A in possession behind the line to gain after fourth down. So this is a loss of down penalty, right? This is you're declining, so it doesn't matter. Anything they did, but the result of the play just gave you a turnover on downs anyway. You decline the penalty, you're going to get the turnover on downs. And then declination leaves B in possession. So holding penalty followed by a interception. You're going to decline the holding to keep the interception because you've gained possession.
100%. And those are the ones where we're not even looking over to the sideline or asking the captain what they want to do. We're signaling holding on the offense. That penalty is declined, first down. So you'll see a very quick signal going on by the referee to keep the flow of the game going on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Series of downs ends 5-2-5 with the acceptance or declination of a penalty for a foul, which occurs after the change of possession. Again, we've talked about that one. R is first to touch a scrimmage kick beyond the neutral zone unless a non-post scrimmage kick foul occurs and the penalty is accepted. Again, Rule 6, we're going to really dive into PSK. And the acceptance of a penalty on fourth down, which carries a loss of down, leaves A in possession behind the line to gain. And again, we just talked about that one with the intentional grounding on fourth down. So we're moving along here. Any questions on these so far, Daniel?
No, they're pretty simple.
All right. 5-2-6.
New series of first and 10 to gain is awarded unless the following are involved. A try, of course, a field goal, a free kick after a safety, or a free kick after a fair catch, or awarded fair catch. I love that it has to be in there every time because you can award a fair catch, so we got to say both.
Yep.
The first down is awarded to the team in possession unless declination of penalty leaves other team in possession. So same thing we mentioned before, you holding with an interception, you're going to decline it. Or accepting or declining a penalty that leaves the other team in possession after fourth down behind the line to gain. So once again, it's turnover on downs. So
yeah, repetitive. All right, so our line to gain, we talked about this one on our first slide, is 10 yards in advance of the foremost point of the ball, also known as a first down. A new series is awarded. Penalties for all fouls before the ready for play are enforced before the line to gain is established. So the chains are set. So before the ready for play, if it's after the ready for play, you can then have 1st and 5 or 1st and 15, which is the line to gain remains fixed once the ball is blown in with the ready for play. So they remain at that point in time. So if it's hasn't been established yet, and we throw an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty or a late hit or whatever it is, that's where you're still going to have your 1st and 10. After the ready for play, like we talked about, now that happens. Now you're going to have that yardage tacked on. So 1st and 15, 1st and 25 in those odd circumstances, different things like that. Any questions on these?
No, very simple.
Rolling along. All right.
We have a diagram this time.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Tommy Barlow.
There we go. Starting a new series, The Chains, 5-3-3. Inside edge of closest rod to official's goal equals the foremost point of the ball. So those two have to be, and it's showing you here that in the diagram, with these are chains drawn, it should be at the point of the ball, right? The one closest to the end zone of if offense were to score. Change of possession, leave ball where it was spotted. B gains 11.5 inches. And so what we're saying is the chain moves, not the ball, right?
Yep.
So the chain would move the distance of the ball in the opposing direction. Safety or touchback, foremost point is on the 20-yard line. So this is the case, the chain would be kind of the overruling because it goes to the 20-yard line. And then ball touching the goal line plane is in the end zone despite foremost point being out. The entire ball must be out of the end zone to not be a safety
or a touchdown. So if
or
for
touchdown.
some reason you have the ball sideways and you got points that are going perpendicular with the goal line and the ball crosses that plane, touchdown or
Still a
safety
touchdown.
or touchback. All right, measurements. Referee may call for the head linesman to bring the line to gain equipment for a measurement. I'm not going to lie to you, we don't really like doing this. It slows the
Because
game
it
down.
seems very inaccurate also in high school.
Spots are inaccurate in general, no matter what level
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
So it's a science because you have to think about it. Think about again what people are watching on Sundays on the NFL and stuff like that. Who's getting the spot of the ball? It's going to be your short wings who mechanically are trailing the play. They're not going right along with the ball and staying right along with the ball. They're trailing the play. So we're using cross field mechanics. We're communicating with our headsets, so O to O, different things like that. But there's still a level of, well, human nature or human, not nature, but human. I
Human
don't even know
error.
how to say it. Yeah. On where the ball is going to be spotted. So we try not to do it, especially now with all the turf fields too, because the turf fields, we really typically want the ball to be on a hash marker on one of the ticks because it just makes it easier for everybody. So I'm not going to lie to you. As an umpire, I'm the one that's spotting the ball. If it's a first down and my wing comes in and they're kind of like between yard markers, I'm going to kind of go to the nearest yard that they're at just to make it easier for the chains. And it's also easier for the coaches. And I'm going to be consistent for both teams. Now, if it's fourth down and it's 4th and 1, we're spotting the ball exactly where they went down. Like there's no vagueness to that whatsoever. But when it talks about the game is the game of inches, it's true. But it all depends upon the time and the score. Those inches might not matter if we move the ball 11 and a half inches as they're talking about. Um, and we're going to try not to just gift them a first down. We're not going to try to be like uber generous with a 2 yard spot when they never got that. But if they got the first down and I could put the ball on a tick, I'm going to make it easier for everybody and put the ball on the tick. Nobody's going to know the difference in that 6 inches at that point in time. So that's just a little trick of the trade. I probably shouldn't be divulging that to the public.
It's okay.
But measurement must be parallel with the sideline and from a convenient yard line. And we'll talk about the clip in our next slide. The long axis of the ball is parallel to the sideline. So we're getting everything going straight up and down. The inside edge of the rod is compared to the foremost point of the ball. And I'm pretty sure it was Gene Steratore that took out his card from his pocket and drove it right down the inside of the stick, the inside edge of the rod, to see if the ball touched his card to delineate if it was a first down or not. So that's basically what it was doing. So if you think about trying to pick a lock by sliding that credit card into the lock, it's the same thing. If there's any space, they didn't get the first down. If there's no space, they got the first down. And the note is by a captain or by a coach's request, they can request a measurement, but you also can be denied a measurement too. So especially again, on our turf fields, we know that hey, they needed to get the big line. When we're saying to each other, you got to get the big line. Well, that's going to be the 5, the 10, 15, the big lines that are going across. Or you'll see the officials on a penalty, or say it's second down and 5.5. I'm looking over as an umpire and I'm looking at my short wings and they're giving me some type of signal or some type of verbal warning saying, hey, Mike, 5 will get you 1, meaning a 5 yard penalty is getting a first down. So we're either giving a long call, a short call, a 5 for 1. Each crew is a little bit different, but it's a way of communicating. So if we know that, hey, it's a long 5 and they got just 5, we're not going to measure it. So we're going to know kind of ahead of time where it is. If it's close, you call for a measurement, we're going to give it to you. But again, we like to keep
Awesome.
the flow of the game going.
Yep.
There's our clip. So have you seen those before?
Yes, and we have like little round discs here that are, I don't even know if
Same
they
thing.
have anything on them. They just mark the inside or the whatever their side of the 5 yard line that it's on. Just so they can go out and place, at least half the chains. That way, half the chain doesn't matter realistically, right? Like
Correct. So
you're just
what
dealing
you're
with a
going
way
to
less amount of human error there.
and we're going to try to keep it on the longer side than the shorter side. So if the clip's going to be like 3 yards, well, we don't want just a 3 yard measurement. We want it to be a 7 yard measurement because just it looks a little bit more. But each crew typically pregame, and the default one is put the clip at the back of the line. So that will mark the clip on the back of that yard marker, and then we'll pull from there. Some crews like it in the middle of the line. Some crews like it
In
on
the
the front of
middle,
the line.
so man, I can. But I've seen some painted lines that are,
Yeah,
so
that's
the front,
exactly
back,
why we
middle
like to
doesn't
try to
matter.
keep it back.
Yeah.
But we try to keep it designated for it, and the mechanic is the back of the line, and then pull it tight from there. Um, So that's going to be the head linesman that's going to hold that clip. As an umpire, I'm going to be pulling that chain. Our referee is going to be overlooking. We're going to have a referee that's going to be holding the ball so the ball doesn't get bumped or moved. We're going to have another referee that's making sure that we're in alignment, that we are nice and straight. And then we're going to have another referee that's going to stay with the yard marker, the down marker on the sideline to make sure that they don't inadvertently switch it to first down when it's actually going to be fourth down. So we're keeping all those things and we're communicating with each other. Again, you're not seeing it very often on turf fields. Your bigger games, you're going to see it more often. Or grass fields, you sometimes see it more often because, again, like you just talked about, sometimes those lines look like, well, Mr. Norm Peterson every once in a while was drunk.
Hey.
I had to throw another Norm line in there. But yeah, that's what the clip is for. And that disc that you were referring to, it's the same thing. These ones are just easier to carry because we could throw these in our pocket. Daniel, we got Rule 5. Done. That's it.
Woo, woo.
Yes, sir.
Raise the roof.
So
It's been wonderful getting to do these with you, Mike. I appreciate it. I actually took a picture of this screen earlier. I'm the king of wanting to put the ball where I want. So I sent it to my OC. I mean, I'm in the middle of recording these with you and I'm finding stuff. I'm like, oh, that's very useful. So I hope that people are listening because every one of these, I feel like I've taken something away. And I'm a guy that studies the rule book as a coach. And I know that most don't. Weaponize it, man. Weaponize, weaponize, weaponize.
And I'm a guy that studies the rule book too, and I still need to go back and refresh myself too. So there's a lot in these pages here, and I keep on holding this book up, but some of the stuff when I first read it was Greek to me. So it's good to talk it over with somebody, and I love that you're asking the questions too because it's a refresher for me. And there's a whole nother manual that's the case book that's just got questions and answers with it. So all that stuff is out there for you, ladies and gentlemen. So go out there and take a look at that stuff. Or I got one better for you. Give us a listen. You might pick something up.
Yeah, might pick something up.
Daniel, once again, truly appreciate you taking the time out, taking away from your family to jump on the show. I know that the kids are scratching in the background. They want to get some daddy time again. So let you go at it. Let you go watch a little OKC basketball too. I think they're going to be coming on soon. So
yeah, game 2 tonight.
I'll give you a little Go Thunder tonight because I don't have any skin in that game. So
TTFU. That's what we say around here.
I have no idea what that means, but yeah, TTFU.
Under the F up. Let's go.
I can't believe you almost cursed. There you go.
Didn't know most. Maybe your Knicks can pull it out this time, honestly, I'm just glad the Celtics are gone. So at this point, it's whoever. Bring them on.
Yes, sir.
I'll take the Knicks, though. Let's go Knicks Thunders finals. Thunder in 6.
But my one last show note here that I want to throw up on the screen is, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to buy me a coffee or on the site, it'll say buy me a beer. And again, you could do this in homage to Mr. Norm Peterson, Mr. George Wendt. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Mike D, the referee, and we'll crack one open. There we go. We'll crack one last one open here, and we will bid you all a fine adieu. Good night, all. Have a great day and have a great night, and go Oklahoma City tonight.
Love it.